HomeTeam.com.
From the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer Weather Center.
We've got a mild day on tap today with breezy conditions, the high 60, but tomorrow windy and much cooler, the high just 39, mountain snow tonight. I'm Fox 31 Pinpoint Weather Meteorologist Brooks Garner.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has what you need to start the year right, like paper, ink, and printers. Now get HP Plus available on HP Office Jet Pro printers like the HP 8025E wireless all-in-one printer, just $160.
Yeah, they couldn't have predicted it. They didn't have it in mind when they wrote that law. But had they done it, I'll bet you it would have been a whole different ballgame.
Maybe so, but my point is I don't even want
I'm not asking for a law, Mark. I'm not asking for a law. I'm just saying I don't like it, and there's got to be something we can do.
It's going to be someone like Musk or someone that's got a shitload of fucking money that goes and does it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's it. He doesn't like it. He's got a fucking shitload of money. He can do it.
Well, I already have
that dude went from $30 billion to $180 billion in 1 year.
Yeah, to build a cloud like Azure, or Amazon is fucking, $300 fucking billion.
No, it's not $300 billion because the guy is already fucking doing it, and it's not $300 billion. It's 1.5 for everything, and this is somebody who's actually in that space. He's going to be on the show. He's doing an IPO. Maybe you don't like him, but Jeff, you've heard of Joe Altman, right?
The name sounds familiar.
Well, he owns PIN Business Solutions, and the guy is a high tech guy, and he's been in the space a long time, and he has tons of money, and he's for real. So he wants to do an IPO, and he's proposing, just fuck it, let's just do it ourselves. And he's got so much money committed.
Direct listing versus true IPO.
He wants to do a whole like Amazon Web Services, whole cloud of servers.
Yeah.
He wants to do all of basically everything that they do, plus become a registrar, plus have a place for people to host things without fear. Without fear of reprisal. I mean, if they don't fucking like your content, do you know there was not one direct message on Parler that had anything to do with setting up that riot? Not one. Not one.
I don't know. I doubt that anybody
Tom, to give you an idea.
The guy that went through, there's a liberal guy that was on, a liberal guy who's fighting for, he says this is scary.
Yeah.
And he had nothing to do, he hates Trump, but he said at most of that stuff was on YouTube and Facebook about the Capitol rally.
Italy, Microsoft just put $1.5 billion into just Italy to bring cloud service to them.
Well, Mark, I'm not going to argue with the fucking guy that's doing it.
I'm just saying, those companies, Azure and fucking AWS,
maybe it's not going to be
are 100 times larger.
Well, maybe you don't need it 100 times larger for what he's doing.
I have no idea.
I mean, what he's doing is what he's doing. I mean, I don't know. He's the one that told me what he's doing. He's doing the...
You can literally get an Azure, everything's virtual, but you can go buy their shit and literally launch something that can have 800 million users the next day.
But they can pull it from you.
Yeah, of course.
See, what I think the left will do is they'll take every opportunity to sue wherever they can find, like somebody hosted a platform where somebody said something bad and they're going to claim it led to like the death of the Capitol Police officer. And so they will go sue the web hosting company for allowing...
Yeah, but right now
and they'll try to sue the web hosting company for wrongful death.
I know.
And right now they're not, in most cases, they're not responsible for the content right now.
The website isn't. The website isn't. But some lawyer will try.
Oh, of course.
And once that happens, when the lawyer tries, if one company loses, or you suddenly start having these massive insurance costs to defend against these lawsuits, it's going to not become economic to maintain these businesses. Section 230.
Yes, so
but Section 230 is very narrow.
Prior to that, they used to go after people that would be hosting porn, and porn would be like illegal in some crazy fucking districts. But I mean, that really did protect fucking a lot of these people.
Rapidly developing array of internet and other interactive consumers. What is the 230?
Impact traffic.
What is
230 does two main things. It says that it says that the owner of a website, the publisher of the website, is not liable for content that other people post on the website. And it also says the owner of a website is not liable for anything that they take down. And at first it starts off by saying that is, violent, racist, whatever. But then it says or otherwise objectionable. So it can include anything, right? So they're not civilly. It's not about criminal law. They can't be civilly liable for either anything anyone else posts or anything they take down.
If I own the server and you get a website from me and you put up some website that's whatever the fuck, child porn for that matter, then I'm not responsible. It all comes to you.
Right. Or you have a decent website and someone puts up an indecent comment on it. You can take that down and you can't be sued civilly for that.
Oh, for taking the comment down.
Yeah.
Well,
for any kind of policing of the content on
your
server, on a site that you own.
That's how Twitter's getting away with everything right now.
Yes.
So he can't even sue them.
But this is the thing. Even without 230, it doesn't mean that there's a legitimate lawsuit to be had against Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter would get sued.
Yeah, but that's a hell of a defense.
And Twitter would win.
Yeah.
And they should win.
Affirmative defense.
It's an affirmative defense.
For sure.
On the civil side, not on any criminal side, but on the civil side. But it isn't actually giving... Yes, it is. It isn't actually giving the websites a significant right that they don't otherwise have. I mean, they're not responsible, and I don't think they would be found responsible. What?
I'm just telling you, you got 30 seconds till you're in.
Yep.
Going back to Tom's analogy with radio, though, it is funny. You're a little different because you're an employee. We're not. If I got on here and dropped the F-bomb left and right, iHeart's still responsible.
Sure.
So that is kind of different, isn't it?
Yes.
You'll get a confirmation text.
Yes, the three of us. Thank you. Sorry.
No problem. Ross, that is mic 3, right?
Yeah.
(303-713-TALK), 303-713-8255. CBD products for 30% off. Just use Tom in the promo code, and you can go to this website, realcbdthatworks.com. That's right. And it's for anti-inflammation, pain, anxiety. I'm Tom Martino. I asked Ross to stay a little longer here. He's usually on the air in the morning, of course. I come on from 10 to 2 Mountain Time, and anyway, I just, listen, folks, this is a consumer show, and I promise you this is a consumer issue, and I don't have to apologize, but I do want your input. I've been very troubled, okay? Obviously, I don't like the division our country is going through, and I think Ross brought something up that is so right on the point. In fact, I said it yesterday on the show. And then obviously, I'm going to take your calls at 303-713-TALK with problems, questions, and complaints. But Ross said, when you listen to news, it has not become news now. It has become stories about the opposition. And Fox will do the most ridiculous stories to make you so pissed off against the left. And then CNN and the rest of them, and Fox and the rest of them. I mean, you have conservative bent media and liberal bent media. Most of it's liberal, but you do have two sides, and they piss me off. I told my wife, I don't want to listen to Fox. I mean, I listen to Tucker Carlson. I want to go out and hurt somebody. I mean, I get so pissed off when he talks, and they bring out the very worst of the liberals, like what's going to happen to you if they're elected, or what they're thinking about doing. It could be it could maybe never happen. And then the left does that about the right, and therefore when someone says they're conservative or leaning conservative or progressive, you hate them because you're thinking about the very worst. You're not thinking about reality. And I'm here to tell you that I believe that even with Biden and Harris and Democrat-controlled Congress, you're not going to see major radical changes, I don't think, because this country doesn't move that way. I'd like to believe that people are pretty much sensible, and then you have midterms. And I just think we all ought to start thinking about each other as we know each other as opposed to what we think we know. I mean, actual knowledge. I just wanted to say that. But now comes this topic that pisses me off beyond control because I don't know what to do about it, and I don't know if you can. You know, Google is so strong, Facebook is so strong, Twitter is so strong, GoDaddy so strong. Amazon Web Services. Mark, don't we have Amazon? Isn't that what we use for our servers?
Most of them. We have some Azure.
Yeah, and that's Microsoft, right? Okay, but what I'm getting at is they have these servers, these cloud-based servers, that what a lot of people don't know is to have a website that actually operates with traffic, you have to have one of these servers. So what they did to Parler, because they said Parler does not mediate, and it allows violent material on there and whatever. And so they not only took them off the app stores, but down from the servers. Plus, they took them off search engines, and they basically canceled them. And these are companies working together to destroy competition. And there's something, it feels inherently wrong about that. This is not a Democrat or Republican thing. This is not, I swear to you, this is not a political thing. Ross, we all hear it's a private business. He can do what he wants. In fact, conservatives use that argument with the bakery that did not want to bake. No, they said they would bake the cake. They did not want to put on the cake the symbolism they wanted for a gay couple. They said they would be glad to bake a cake. But then conservatives were saying, leave them alone. They're a private business. They can do what they want or refuse business. But liberals were saying, you can't censor. You got to do what they want. And now everyone has the opposite position. What is going on in our country? I believe we need to have freedom of speech, even if it is free enterprise. I don't think your employer should be able to shut down your speech.
So get the government involved now in everything?
But I'm not saying that, Mark. I'm just saying, look, I didn't say get the government involved, but I don't know what the answer is.
Well, how else would you police it?
The government gets involved all the time.
How about if somebody wanted to put child porn on a server or something and they were against that? Or anything. Or hate speech, KKK, neo-Nazis.
Mark, I am saying, first of all, child pornography is against the law.
That was a bad example.
Okay, now, hate speech. One wise attorney told me something, okay? He is a constitutional lawyer. Do you know who he is in town here? Anyway.
David.
And my brain fart will pass and I'll name him. But here's what he said. He fights for freedom of speech when it's the worst case.
Is that David Lane?
David Lane, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He said freedom of speech does not, he doesn't ever have to fight for the right of a chocolate chip cookie recipe. That's what he told me. He says, and no one does.
Right.
He says it's when they hate what you're saying. Hate it. Now,
like burning the flag.
Yeah, or now, remember when those in Illinois, those Nazis were marching. The ACLU represented Nazis for their right to do it. But I know what everybody's going to think. This is different. They were inciting violence. Obviously, we can't incite violence. So, I don't know. What is the answer, Ross?
I wish I knew that there was an easy one. My heart, as a libertarian, tells me that there is no government answer, and that the answer is in the private sector and in competition.
Right.
And as we were talking about before the show, Elon Musk, who can afford to do anything at all he wants, has actually been making some noises already about maybe jumping into this space. I think the Parler thing is really interesting because of, as you accurately described, so many companies going after them at the same time. One thing you didn't mention that I think is worth adding on because it fits into the whole sort of cancel culture approach to what's going on with Parler is that their law firm dropped them. Not just tech companies. They are all so afraid
of the
left-wing cancel culture mob.
Right. That's right.
That they're not willing to stand up for any principle or take any risk. And frankly, if you're a shareholder of some company, I understand. If I'm a lawyer advising company XYZ that does business with Parler, and if people are telling the lawyer that there are incitations towards violence going on Parler. And I'm not saying that I know there were. And you said earlier that you think there weren't. But just put that aside for a second.
One guy said he researched it. And
you're a lawyer working for a company that supports Parler in some way, and you have reason to believe that people are using Parler to organize violence. You've got to tell your client that they can't support Parler anymore.
Right.
You have to.
Right. That's right.
So
if they are inciting violence.
Now, but I heard, this is a great point. Listen to this, Tom. And it's so obvious, but I didn't think of it until someone said it to me. The stuff that people want to cancel Parler for, they say people are inciting violence, that's illegal. It's not just a violation of a term of service.
Right.
It's illegal to incite violence.
Right.
So
and
if
I'm
you think someone is doing
that,
refer them to law enforcement. Kick them, block them on your site.
Block them.
Refer them to, and that should be a fairly easy standard. Here's one other thing I want to mention that I think people aren't.
They, by the way, have not cited anybody. Specific.
Not yet.
Not one specific post was cited on Parler as to why they canceled them. Not one.
Right. Okay, so here's the other thing that I want to point out, and this has much broader application than just big tech, but certainly applies to big tech. Most often I talk about this when it comes to banking and regulations. Giant companies love regulations. They will generally claim that they don't, but they love them because only the giant companies can afford to comply with them. And lots of regulations makes it nearly impossible for small companies to enter the market to compete. So a lot of these companies, for example, they're saying we need Parler to do more moderation of the content on the site. Think about what's involved in policing a site that has hundreds of thousands or millions of people and watching, because artificial intelligence can't do all this, watching for someone saying something that is, let's say, illegal.
Well, I don't know.
Want to stop
I don't know what that
answer is. They can't afford it. And they're trying to put them out of business by doing things that no small competition can afford to do.
By the way, did you hear that Uganda, the country, blocked social media in their country, and Twitter wrote them saying that censorship, especially during a time of election, of content is wrong, and you should have open information. Did you know that's a real deal? It's for honest to God real. You didn't hear about that.
I just heard the first half. I didn't hear the Twitter letter.
No, Twitter wrote to them, and you can see what they wrote to them if you Google it.
All right.
But all I'm getting at is this. Look, I don't think people should incite violence, and
No,
I don't. You know what I'm tired of hearing? It's a private business. Free speech doesn't apply. Actually, free speech does apply. You cannot thwart someone's free speech anywhere. You can, if it's not appropriate for employment, you can curtail it. You can't tell that employee not to say it. Now, they may not be able, they may not be, you can't tell them to say it on the job, right? They have to stay quiet there. But free speech, just like being black or being a certain religion, we do have certain rights. And those rights apply to everyone.
Yeah, but
you don't have a right to a social media account.
No, you don't.
I'm
not saying you do, but you do have a right to free speech. You do have a right to free speech.
It depends what you mean. You don't have a right to social media account, and if you say something on a social media account that violates their terms of service, even if it doesn't violate the law,
it's a private business.
They can kick you off.
But what is to prevent a company that is so powerful to? We don't even know what we're not getting. What would prevent? Do you understand that Google has the power to cancel any candidate they don't agree with at all? What's to stop it? Now, there's got, you see, when I understand all this about private business, but no one could have ever anticipated the width and breadth of a company like Google or these companies that virtually occupy and own the space.
First of all, I'll say, you've made it when your company becomes its own noun or verb. Like you said, I'm going to Google it.
Right.
That's when Google isn't one. I'm going to Xerox it.
But what do you do?
But look, I think there's only two ways. public shaming of these companies, and it's very hard to do that. Going back to what you opened the show with, it is very hard to publicly shame these companies when media companies, half of them are on one side politically, half on the other side politically, so the half that are on the same side as the big tech company will never criticize them.
They'll never criticize.
And so they never get the pressure that they need. So really all that's left is competition. I think that any effort of government regulation or law will only make the problems worse, and they will not cause these big tech companies to treat, in this case, conservatives more even-handedly. They will just cause more censorship of everybody.
No, I understand.
And that's bad for everyone.
I'm not asking for laws. I'm just saying I don't like what's going on. I feel like we are being played. We're just, we are powerless in what we see and hear. And you're right about news. You can see news on one that you'll never see on another, or you see the worst of one on one and the worst of the other on the other. It's amazing to me.
I thought that line in that Matt Taibbi piece that I shared this morning that you're referring to was tremendous. He said what media companies do now is they determine what they believe their audience wants to hear
and then
feeds that.
That's right. We do not get real news anymore. And not even locally we don't. We get what they think they want, and everyone's going to say, well, why not? It's a private business. Well, you know what? I mean, I guess that's true. It's a private business.
They want to make money, man.
What if now they start saying, we're not going to give electrical power to that company because we don't like the way that company... What do you mean you can't do that? It's a private company.
No,
why can't you do that?
That's a bad example. So
okay,
regulated.
that's the point.
They're a monopoly. They're a government-granted monopoly with special legal protection that these big tech companies don't have.
They no longer actually have that protection. They just have an advantage. People can come in and provide power and provide anything. There's no longer that monopoly. It's just that they have a foothold and there's nothing we can do. And that's the point I'm making. I'm sorry, Ants is saying I got to take a break. Listen, I'm going to take all of your calls, I promise. This is a really important issue.
What happened with utilities? They granted franchises. Okay, that's no longer fucking there. What they're doing is what they're doing is saying, oh yeah, you can do it now. Yeah, now you can do it. How are we going to compete with Excel now?
Yeah.
But you're right. They were granted. They
even got asked to raise their prices, man.
Well, yes, they do. They do because of the foothold they have. But what I'm getting at is these other companies have
everything shifts, man. Someone will. This whole thing will shift again.
See you guys. Thanks for having me.
SimplyFloorsInc.com. Simply Floors Inc. If you're looking for floor coverings, Buddy and Karen Mitchell are dedicated to giving you the best installers, the best prices, and great financing. And they have all kinds of floor coverings. Mark's used them. I've used them. We love them. All you have to do is go on their site and make your own appointment at SimplyFloorsInc.com. They have every floor covering you can think of at big box prices or lower, and better installation and better warranty. SimplyFloorsInc.com.
If you're in chronic pain, you may have been told you need to live with it or be on pain meds the rest of your life. It's not true. Find out more at ColoradoPainCare.com. Hi, I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. I want you to find this group of local doctors dedicating themselves to developing a plan just for you. Safe use of meds, physical therapy, nerve procedures, and other evidence-based treatment with proven results. ColoradoPainCare.com. Accepted by most insurance, Medicare, and Medicaid. 303-GOT-PAIN.
Rates are like a roller coaster lately. Are you concerned about the future and how to protect your home? Do you want to become mortgage safe? Take AIM, Affordable Interest Mortgage. With home values still at their highest level ever and rates at historic lows, now may be the best time to be prepared if the economy changes. Last time, many of our friends lost their home when it was unnecessary. Take AIM, 720-895-0500. Many of our clients have the ability to tap their equity should the economy change, all without having to borrow the money now.
Okay.
So we can show you how to access your equity in these uncertain times to give you peace of mind and allow you to focus on what's important.
I just hate
Call
government.
Affordable Interest Mortgage at 720-895-0500.
I agree with you, Mark. But it does bother you, though, doesn't it, that they can control us like they can? Come on, it doesn't bother you.
There's two sides of me. When I'm invested in fucking Twitter, I want whatever Twitter can fucking do for the stock to go up.
not talking about that. I'm really not.
Yeah, of course it bothers me when they cancel shit on my side, but if it was the other way, if they were shutting these people up like AOC, I don't think I'd give a fuck.
Then you ought to say that. You know what? Because that's the most truthful thing you've ever said.
But that's just my deal. But the company should be, the company really needs to be able to do whatever they fucking want. They really do. I would hate for government to tell me what I have to fucking do.
United Vein Centers, America's top.
I mean, they already do. You know, they already tell you have to buy certain kinds of insurance. Tell me that's not fucked up, right?
Male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes. $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Providers.
But I will say this:
$768.98. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you, even if you have type 2 diabetes, or overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you.
Hey, Dan. Dan's trying to make the Standard Oil argument. You know, Rockefeller.
Say what?
You know, he's saying, well, here's what he put. What would you say about Standard Oil in the past keeping all the small companies out?
I think it's wrong.
Okay, you know what I'd say? Where's fucking Standard Oil?
Policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on.
Not just that. Where's the Standard Oil money?
$768.98. 800-700-6898.
Michael Brown here. I want to take a minute to talk to you about something that has changed my life. Blue Sky CBD. You've heard me talk about the relief it's given me with hip pain after rolling, and you've heard how much the Pet Love formula has helped our pet. But what you might not know is that Dr. Eric Dorniger out of Boulder serves as the Director of Research and Development, or that Dr. Adam Graves in Castle Rock and countless other doctors recommend Blue Sky CBD exclusively. The reason behind this is their products are created using the highest quality CBD in the country. They guarantee potency and purity, and their formulas are created using international research to ensure that you get the dosage you need to find.
So do I need to call, or is he going to send us bullet points?
I need to send him. I don't know why he didn't copy you. I literally told him to.
30% off and try
Please
the
send it to
same
me.
bulb I
Yeah, I
use
will.
for
They're not that great, but
you're not going to be disappointed.
shoot them off any
BlueSky-CBD.com. Promo
other
code
questions
PAYOUT
you
for
have,
30% off.
I know him.
BlueSky-CBD.com.
Yeah, but he is doing some other shit. That new Rockefeller, apparently he's having great success with. I'm not sure what the treatment is.
39 mountains snow tonight. I'm Fox News. Pinpoint weather meteorologist.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's the year-end sale at Mattress Firm. For a limited time, save up to $300.
All right, 10 seconds. There you go.
Nah, you got it.
And plus, get
Basically, he wants same as last. I think when he comes on, he'll talk about some
only during the year-end sale at Mattress Firm.
I got a lot of 30s if you need them. I got them pre-recorded, really good ones. What? I got a lot of 30s from before, pre-recorded good ones. If you need them, hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
713-TALK, 713-8255. Desha, and then Dan, please hang on. Is it Desha?
Yes.
You have a problem with a body shop. And by the way, my number is 303-713-TALK. And Desha, we're going to take your problem about a body shop. And then Dan, hang on. I do want comment on social media and what you think. Mark said something very truthful. He says, you know what? If they were editing out people like OAC or on the liberal side that he disagreed with, he'd have no problem. And it's a kind of selfish thing. And I think that's the way people really think. I think as long as it's not affecting their beliefs, they don't care.
And you can't get government involved. You just can't do it.
And I'm not advocating
anything.
That. All I was saying is it bothers me. There's something about it that bothers me. I don't care who they're editing out. I like to hear honest to God, everything. Now, not the inciting of violence.
Got involved in it much deeper than it is already, we'd be like freaking China,
all right,
man.
Desha, tell us about your body shop, Desha.
Okay. So, September 9th, 2019, I crashed my car.
Ooh.
It was driven into a garage. However, the engine is fine.
Was it totaled? Was it totaled?
Yes. Yes. So I want to start off by Connolly's Towing Incorporated. It's the company that towed the truck. Well, it's a 2008 Ford Explorer. Okay. So it was towed to Connolly's Towing And I had the mechanic, who is William Howard Lovelet with Bill's Quality Auto Body and Custom Paint. I had him come look at the car.
Now let me ask you something, Dacia. Did your insurance company pay you for this car, total it?
Yes.
Okay, and you kept it and decided to fix it?
Yes.
Okay, kind of a bad idea. But what happened? Let's get right to that part. What body shop is it?
It's Bill's Quality Auto Body and Custom Paint Incorporated.
Bill's Quality Auto Body. Let's just say that. Okay, what did he do wrong? What's your problem? How can we help you?
Well, my problem is that he's had the car since, well...
Wait, this was September 2019. When did he get the car?
Yes.
When did he get the car?
He got the car about, I would say, December.
Oh, come on. So he's had it in December of 20. He had it a year. And now it's more than a year. What the hell's going on? What's going on?
I know. So I went down to the body shop about a week ago. And it was in the very back of one of the bays. There were no tools around.
Have you already paid this guy, Dacia?
Yeah, like $8,000.
All right, hold on. What is the last comment you got from him? The last time he said a word to you, what was it?
It was when I snuck up on him in there.
What was it? What did he say?
He said that it's about 3/4 of the way done.
Why is he waiting so long? How much have you paid total?
$8,000.
Why did you do that?
Because I'm an idiot.
What did he say? Okay, hold on. Suzanne, can you call that body shop or have Deputy Doc or Deputy Smarty?
Sure. Right now.
Have them call. I want to see if they'll come on the air. Mark?
Is there any other issues with it, or it's the time frame only? What is it?
How would she know?
Well, I don't know. I thought I read something about a bent frame, but it could be a different call.
Well, it could be from the accident. Dacia, the actual work itself, you haven't had time to evaluate that, have you?
Well, I mean, I don't know how to evaluate it. I mean, I don't know how long it should be.
Well, we're going to call him. Hold on. Dan, you have a comment on social media. What do you think is going on right now?
So I just want to say I don't see anything wrong with these companies allowing anybody to post anything, and if they post something illegal, why doesn't the government go after it? Yeah, I think a social media company can take that position and allow people to post.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, if they're openly and I'm not saying this happened, but if they do openly incite violence, I am wondering what would happen then. Don't you think the company has an obligation to take down illegal stuff?
Well, if the government says it's illegal and they're going to indict the person, I think it's reasonable for them to take it down until it's
So
resolved.
they should have to post anything you want posted. So a Catholic church in some kind of forum, I should be able to post, go get an abortion, right?
Well, yeah, you should. Why not?
Because it's their site. They can take it down if they want.
No, I'm not talking about that. I did not know.
That's what he's saying, though, the caller.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying only if allow people to post stuff. A company should be like Palantir that wants to...
But what Mark is saying is if it's against the companies... So Mark is saying if a company has a certain political belief, it's okay for that company to edit out stuff that doesn't agree with them.
Or any belief.
Yeah, but you're also saying that. If they lean left, it's okay for them.
Have you watched CNN?
Mark, I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
Okay, just like Fox does and just like CNN does.
You nailed it.
Okay.
It's a for-profit business.
Right.
Whoever they're advertising to is who needs to see it.
And when Parler tried to give an alternative, guess what happened? On a higher level, they took them off.
Well, Amazon said get away.
But why?
Well, I'll tell you why they did
why.
it. Because they were terrified that it would be a backlash on Amazon. They made a decision for the stock.
It's because of the cancel mob.
Ultimately right? I don't know.
It's the cancel mob. People are afraid of being labeled and forever labeled.
Of course.
And it's not fair. It's not fair to label liberals for the violence that went on during the summer and fall.
But it is funny how it wasn't violence when it was that way. Huh?
And it's not fair to label all conservatives for what happened at the Capitol. When are we all going to take a really fair look at each other? And again, I blame both sides. They come up with the most extreme examples.
But Tom, we're talking about private businesses making decisions on content they want on their own stuff.
That's right.
And
That's what we're doing.
I see no issue with that.
It bothers me. That's what I said.
It bothers me too when it's the other side.
And no, it would bother me no matter what. I just... I don't know. I'm not saying there is an answer, by the way. I'm just saying that this sucks. I don't have anywhere to go for truly objective news.
I don't like when Obamacare said, hey, you have to provide abortions for people.
Right.
And there was a lot of people that don't believe in abortions, and guess what? They had to fight that in court just to change that.
Yeah. So anyway, anyway, all I'm saying is this. I just hope that all of us realize that what we hear in the news about conservatives and liberals are the most extreme cases, and that I don't think most of the people on left or right are crazy. I don't think they are, nor do I think they want to destroy the country. More coming up.
What's your opinion on the most... The most, they got a day or two. The most straightforward news, what would you say it is? Well, out of the shit we do have. Like AP, maybe?
Traffic center. Travel around the Mile High City for the most part in decent shape. Westbound I-70, big stop.
Okay, I don't watch ABC, so I don't know. I mean, you're talking about the lesser of evils. You don't think like Associated Press is somewhat straightforward, though?
There's still the closure of Highway 36 between Highway Road and Highway 66. Police are investigating.
Yeah, I don't know.
Crash from this morning. The estimated time when the roadway will reopen. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. We're going to be
it's a
sunny
fucking
today,
battle of ideologies now. That's what
well, it's also a battle of ratings.
Tonight, cloudy and windy with a low
What's
26.
selling?
Right now, it's cloudy in Denver.
For their audience.
With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 6:30 K-How.
It's the
All right, about 10 seconds. State integrity, you go.
Just $300 on top-rated mattress brands. Plus, get a free adjustable base with your $6.99 mattress purchase. Oh.
I'm Tom Martino for Mile High Estate Planning. Something everyone can agree on. It's wise to plan. It's wise to plan for when you're older and for after you pass. For yourself and for your heirs. Protect your legacy. Don't make all this work go to waste. So many people make mistakes and quit claim deeds to houses and things like that without truly thinking it through. Call Blake Harris. Free questions, free answers. You only pay for when you actually execute plans, a will or a trust or a power of attorney or a prenup or a postnup. But you can ask all the questions you want. I have done that too, and you can. 833-ASK-BLAKE. What is it all about? What is a will? What do I need? He will go through everything with you. Please do it. Protect your assets, especially from long-term care expenses, so your spouse doesn't have to live in poverty or your heirs. 833-ASK-BLAKE. All right, let's talk about open enrollment. Mark, I believe open enrollment is done when? In 2 days. 2 days. If you need to make health insurance changes, if you need to buy health insurance, if you have Medicare and want to get a supplement, or you want to get Medicare Advantage, or you want to do anything, even if you need to know if you're eligible for Medicaid, call Integra Insurance, 303-466-5500. Health insurance made simple and smart. They'll help you, and it doesn't cost you a dime, and you don't pay. And listen, you don't save going direct. Use the brokers I use. IntegraInsurance.com, 303-466-5500.
Kitchens, baths, counters and floors, and even replacement windows and doors. You have our word, we'll treat you right at Done Right. Hi, I'm Todd Chikini. You know,
I think
started making that pledge on the radio when I was no more than 12 years old.
I don't think we should
me all my working life.
Anything like this? You don't think that discussion was bad? There's bad comments or anything?
I don't see any bad comments. I haven't looked up.
But Mark, these are things that, okay, I'm just saying, I don't think it helps us. I don't think it helps us. Okay.
You want to feel comfortable.
I think it fits. But don't you remember, I remember you listening to this, Tom. You gotta talk about this shit.
Oh, fuck, I know. I love it. I could sit here and talk about this shit with you all day. I don't think that's what our audience wants. So I think they can tune in anywhere.
Our online audience, ask them. We got this in-house club. You guys listen more than anybody. You're the diehards.
Turn that down.
You're the diehards. Do you guys like this at all? I mean, I'm trying to talk about issues. I promise you, I'm not trying to push a political agenda.
Do you get the impression, give us some online comments, do you get the impression I'm pushing an agenda here? Or I truly am bugged by it? I mean, there's something scary about this whole world right now.
Or more straight to the point, would you rather just have the bad contractors, the wackos, the
I can just stick to question and answers, guys. I can do that all day long. But I have things on my mind and on my heart, and I just want to know what you think. Really, what do you think? You guys are the diehards. You're what they call our P1, our primary listeners, because you make the effort to go online. So give us some comments. Mark will pass them along. I really want to know what you think, really. I value your opinions.
Or, you know what, Dan? Maybe we have Dan come on. Hey, Dan is connected on too. Do you guys know or not?
Anyway, guys, thank you if you can help us out.
See if he can hear you.
I have it on, but I haven't heard him. I have access to on just in case it's there.
Say something to him. Just see if he answers, would you please?
Dan?
To answer your questions by phone, visit modernvascular.com.
Might like Cairo.
I'm talking down, but I don't know if you can hear me without a headset on or something.
Personally and financially, many businesses will close permanently. Believe me, you're not alone if some of your bills have gone unpaid, and especially stressful are the IRS matters, many of them coming to a head.
Did you actually go, you just saw the Genesis when you were there with me, right? Did you go back and actually sit in one and look at one? Or not?
Yes.
Oh, you did?
Yes, you did.
Did you drive the 3.5? Why didn't you?
Because I don't want to go that far. I don't want to waste their time. I am seriously thinking that SUV, if I could get it in white with a tan engine, it is the night. Mark, I've had Mercedes all my life. There's not a Mercedes interior that comes close to that.
Shit, I'd put my G90 up against a 300 series any day.
Mark, I had that sedan. I had that. That was a top-of-the-line sedan. Your car was nicer and it pissed me off. Fucking no! You remember when I bought it? No, I'm serious.
You talked to your shrink about it.
But Mark, here's the thing. Isn't that weird that we are influenced by brand names and shit, Mark?
Yeah. I was very glad Hyundai broke it off and put it under a Genesis label. I mean, I was very glad, honest to God.
Retirement workshops, January 26th through the 28th at allworthfinancial.com. And together, let's resolve to retire better. All right, here's a consumer tip. When you have an insurance claim, use a public adjuster in all.
Even if you just call and run it by them. You've heard Mark talking about it. I talk about it. I'm talking about Claims Pro. They're on our referral list at referralist.com. Now, Peter is in the Denver office, residential and commercial claims. I'm serious. If you have an insurance claim, do not do it alone. These guys take a percentage of what they collect and almost always collect more. Not almost. They always collect more than you can on your own. Always. Now, here's what you do. You can even go get an offer and then go to a public adjuster and see what they think. They'll tell you if they think they can help you. Now, Claims Pro you can find at this website, publicadjuster.pro. Publicadjuster.pro, 833-252-4600. Look for Claims Pro on my referral list at referralist.com. I'm going to go to the phones. Now, listen, we said yesterday we're going to talk about the car buying process, and we are, from beginning to end, okay? So don't forget that. And I want you to listen. I want you to take notes. This is going to be very valuable information. We're going to start it next hour, and we're not going to go from beginning to end in one segment. We're going to hit on different things, and you call about it, because car buying is like the second biggest purchase we make, and with car buying, there are so many pitfalls, all right? So hang on. Now, Udo, you have a comment. Go ahead, Udo.
Yes, Tom. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Udo, and thank you for trusting us. What's happening?
Well, I was convicted in Adams County where the court did some crazy stuff to convict me.
Did you have a defense attorney, sir?
I did, and they removed her when she filed a motion to dismiss.
Well, why do you think that?
That there was no.
Wait a minute. They were. You got to help me out here. What do you mean they removed her? They removed her. I don't get that.
Well, they assigned this lady to.
Wait, hold on. Did your attorney ask to be removed?
No.
But the courts removed her. In other words, the court said, Udo, we're not going to allow your attorney here anymore.
Yes.
That's not true. Udo, that never happens.
He did.
Udo, hold on. Was your attorney disbarred?
No.
Okay. I don't mean to belabor this because I know...
He's talking in tongues. What happened? Why did the judge do that?
I know you want help, and I'm going to help you, and I don't want to get caught up on this. It might be your perception that's what the judge did. You're telling me you had an attorney, a defense attorney, and the judge said, no, you can no longer have that attorney. Is that right?
That's right.
No, it's not. You misunderstood something, but keep going.
Why did he tell you that?
Why did he say he's firing your attorney?
He never told me.
All right.
He just removed her.
He removed her without telling you. And then one day, hold on. So one day a new attorney shows up.
Yes.
And the judge said, you can't have this attorney. Was this attorney the first attorney, a public defender?
Yeah, she was ADC.
Okay, so the public defender was substituted.
They either left or that public offender didn't want anything to do with it.
That's right. The attorney may have asked, or that attorney may have had a conflicting case. Whatever it is, I get it now. They switched public defenders. So what happened then?
Okay, this happened after she filed a motion and saying that there was no crime.
Okay, by the way, what were you charged with?
I was charged with COCA.
With what?
COCA, violation of Colorado Organized Crime Act.
Colorado what act?
Colorado violation of Colorado Organized Crime.
Organized crime.
Something with weed? Were you selling weed or something? What was it?
I was doing real estate mortgages. Real estate transactions.
I get it. Now, this is interesting. Okay, and I heard of one other case where someone was doing mortgages and they were charged with organized crime. Tell me what, you have to tell me what happened. Were you selling mortgages like a mortgage broker?
No, I was on the real estate side.
And what were you doing?
What I was doing was we were purchasing properties.
And then what?
And then having the banks give us funds for renovations, and we went back and renovated all the properties.
Then what did you do?
And when the real estate industry collapsed, the properties went into foreclosure.
I get it. So what they're saying is that you did an equity skimming. Did you take out owner-occupied loans?
No, they were all investments.
I understand, but were the loans non-owner-occupied loans?
No, they were not owner-occupied. They were income properties.
But did the mortgage company know it? Did the loan say residential loan, or was it an investment loan?
They were investment loans.
Okay, now that's rare, and that's good that you did that. Because here's what I want to say, Udo, and this happened during the other recession. If you have loans that go bad, banks look for ways to get fraud. Why? Because then you can't go bankrupt. And they look for ways to charge you with fraud. Honest to God, they do. I actually had a bank, First Citizens Bank, tried to sue me for fraud. They lost. They tried to sue me for fraud for a loan. They said I misrepresented myself. You know what they'll do? I mean, if you misstate your income by a few dollars, or if you do an owner-occupied and you're not in it, or any little technicality, they can come after you for fraud. You hang on a sec. We got to figure out why were you convicted? This is serious, Udo. And then I want to know what you want us to do. Now, Daisha, she had a problem with the body shop. She spent $8,000. It sat there for a year. Ken is calling. Deputy Doc is calling on that. Give us your calls at 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I'd also like to know if you have any comments on what's going on with social media and big tech. Does it bother you, or do you think that's just the way it is?
Tell your smart device.
All right, you got Art Granite and All Pro in about a minute.
Then you can hear Russ Kaminsky in the morning, Dan Caplis in the afternoon.
Getting 630 K
Did you send me
from
that?
iHeartRadio.
Denver's
Did you send me
talk
that?
station, available on
Yes.
over 2,000 devices.
Okay.
Now, Impact Traffic.
You know what I meant, bright light, right?
Sponsored by Mattress Firm.
From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, Highway.
I got to do the endorsement contract for Harris.
Hygiene Road and
Okay, I'm going to make it a start date of February
investigating a
1st.
serious crash from this morning. No estimated time when the roadway will reopen. Back out on the highway drive for the most part. Shape across
Okay.
Mile High City.
I'm going to make it February 1st for Harris for me for the endorsement.
Watch out for,
Yeah, I don't care.
watch out for high winds in the high country along 285
Can we make that for the referrals too?
and strong gusty winds along the I-25 corridor north of the Denver area later this afternoon. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, sunny, breezy, a high of 64, right now cloudy and 50. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
Let's talk about fires. Let's talk about other things. Even gruesome crime cleanup, whatever it is, this restoration company stands out. They are the guys that and especially for your countertops in 2 weeks, whether granite or quartz or marble, any natural stone or solid surface. They're direct stone importers. They're open 6 days a week. You can make an appointment, get to their beautiful showroom, or do everything on the phone. By the way, when you call, you'll even get a price on the phone. TheArtOfGranite.com. Just look them up. TheArtOfGranite.com.
Make getting a great night's sleep your New Year's resolution with Mattress Firm's year-end sale. Hurry in for savings of up to $300
I'm a
on
real
our top-rated
believer
brands like
sometimes,
Sealy.
Mark,
Plus, get a free adjustable
just
base when you
doing
spend $6.99 on
websites.
Sealy. Or save 50% on select mattresses from Sealy and get a queen mattress for just $299.99. Don't wait. Shop in-store, online, or by phone with a sleep expert for these amazing deals. Only at Mattress Firm. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Not a participating locations only. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
In this crazy times that we're all living in right now, there's nothing more important than your health. At Fitness Cower, we offer the nation's lowest prices on the world's finest fitness equipment like true treadmills.
Hey, your home gym never closes. Everybody should have a true treadmill yours.
Hi, I'm Carl Mecklenburg.
Where would you buy a
Broncos
treadmill?
All-Pro linebacker and Ring of
There,
Fame.
Fitness
Tough
Cower.
stuff machines.
Would
that
you
are
really?
tremendous
Yes,
for
absolutely.
any type of
I'd buy
workout
the
you're trying to
Costco.
get in.
Oh, I didn't know that, Mark. I didn't know that they had those.
I'm helping myself. And there's no
I don't know what brands or
consistent with your workouts, then have it at home, have it available to you any time of the day or night.
Tough stuff on the fitness gallery. You're going to get the best.
to history, management, investing, philosophy, and more. Books like A Beautiful Mind, The 4-Hour Workweek, Freakonomics, and Sapiens. Blinkist makes it easy to learn about pretty much anything.
Like the stars?
Even the stars.
Right now, radio listeners get 25% off, plus 1 free week when you go to Blinkist.com/brain. To get this special offer, go to Blinkist.com/brain. That's BLINKIST.com/BRAIN.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713. That's an interesting case.